What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG at Game Grove. This weekend we have our 1K for Sorcery. Cannot wait to hang out with you guys in the Sorcery community and hang out and play some games. I think we're going to be streaming. Today I wanted to go through and give you some updates on where I think Sorcery is, some of the conversation that's happening in the community. I also want to show off some really cool cards that I picked up this week. Just really cool things. All right, and first out, shout out to Jack from the Ruby Courier. Jack's going to be judging the event this weekend, which is super cool. And I told him that because he's judging, he gets to be a sponsor of the 1K. That, you know, he's judging, he gets to be a sponsor of the 1K. The Ruby Courier is a really cool, uniquely retro magazine for every avatar in the realm. He was handing these out at Gen Con, and he's also got some of the stores that are involved in Sorcery to have these on the East Coast at least. Really cool content in a completely different way. Look, it's easy to make videos. It's hard to make a retro magazine in the year 2024 that has Game Boy pictures, Game Boy Pocket pictures. Absolutely amazing. So check out the Ruby Courier on Discord, and really, really cool stuff. I think it's really cool to see the Sorcery community being so unique with something like this. And shout out to Jack for judging the event this weekend as well. All right, so I picked up a couple cores. Shout out to, not cores, I had Courier on my brain. Shout out to Lloyd here, who traded for some curios. Now, I don't really collect curios. To be fully honest, I love curios. I think they're awesome. I already have so much collection going on in Sorcery, but I could not pass up I haven't held a water castle in person before, and I've always seen this card online, and I wanted to see just how absolutely beautiful it is. My thing is ripping alpha, so I may eventually just try to trade these into some alpha boxes and that kind of stuff, but I wanted to hold these in person. I like doing videos on this stuff to show you guys what curios are, because I pull them so infrequently. These are both beta curios, the Water Castle, and this is the Avatar of Earth. So these have, Sorcery backs, really, really cool cards, really, really cool things. Just wanted to show them off. Shout out to Lloyd, who also found me a King Louis crimped Lorcana card. Absolutely crazy. This will be the only Lorcana card that I collect right here. This King Louis crimped cards. Thank you, Lloyd, for that, and I'll get your stuff out to you today as well. But pretty cool. So let's talk about Sorcery now. Also, a random thing in this video. I didn't even have time this week. I feel bad. I didn't even have time this week to make a video on a massive Sorcery beta foil collection I bought. Check out this. This is just an order for the Sorcery beta. Check this out. We bought like a ton of Sorcery beta cards. One person picked up all of these foil Sorcery beta cards. Absolutely crazy. They're coming in this weekend for the 1K. Absolutely crazy. I really wish I got to do an actual video with that collection. I just had another collection buy that was going on this weekend. I couldn't get it all together all at once, so I apologize for that. But really cool to see all the beta foils kind of in the same place, and absolutely beautiful. The attention for Sorcery right now is obviously on Arthurian Legends, and I think that's really good. The next set, right? You have one set a year, and this year's big set is Arthurian Legends. I have a spoiler video coming out later. I think it's this week or next week. I don't know. It's at the end of the month. And I'm really excited to do that, but I'm mostly excited to see the community coming around and getting excited about something all together. You have in a community like Sorcery, you have people who love the art. You have people who love the singles and selling cards. You have people who love the gameplay. You have people who love making content, like a magazine, right? You have people who just like love creating. And when you have a year of not release, those communities get a little separate. They get a little out there and over here and all over the place. But when you see everybody coming together and watching spoiler videos together and making attitude adjustments towards a new set, it's just really cool to see everybody come together. I'm excited to be at the event this weekend at the 1K and talk to people about the spoilers and the cards and hear what people think about how the game is going to change in all those elements. There's going to be changes from a singles perspective. There's going to be changes from a gameplay perspective. There's going to be changes of how people view collecting. And it's going to be really interesting to talk about all those things. So when you have Arthurian Legends coming out and a big attitude adjustment for the community to refocus on like this idea of one group of people, it's just really, really cool. But don't forget, we also have a restock of beta that has been rumored and has been at distro or not at distro. And this is something I actually thought was going to come out earlier than it currently is coming out. Distro basically still doesn't have the boxes in the United States. I actually thought we were going to have boxes this weekend for the event. I'm kind of bummed about it because I think we still will be able to do a draft if we want to have some extra people on Sunday do a draft. We'll probably be able to still do that. But I thought restock was going to happen. And it's also a lot smaller than I anticipated too. When I saw the restock of boxes in Europe and the amount of boxes that were coming over to the United States from Asia and that kind of thing, I kind of anticipated that we were going to get a bunch of boxes, and that's not what happened. But what did happen is the allocations look like we will get plenty of boxes to support our local store and the community that we have here at Game Grove, and I anticipate that is across the board, that the vast majority of stores that are running events will be able to get the product they need to completely support their local store and get boxes back at MSRP locally and get people into the game, which is a really big win. I've seen this with some other games where it's really hard to get product in, that the community kind of fizzles out and dies down. So I'm really excited, and I hope that other stores are going to use those boxes for events in store. We're really excited to draft, and my community hasn't really gotten to draft locally. Frankly, I didn't save enough boxes. I kind of misjudged when the restocks were going to be on the initial beta launch. It's hard learning the new games and what's going on in the communities and what's going on with reprints and that kind of stuff. So I didn't keep enough boxes to be able to kind of consistently draft at a cheaper price. And so I'm excited that I get to revisit that and revamp that and do that here. And so we're going to do some more drafting and have some fun with beta. Leaning into then Arthurian Legends will be out. We'll have supply for that and that kind of thing. So the beta restock, a little bit less than I thought it was going to be, but still plenty, obviously, to support the 8 to 15 people we have who are playing Sorcery locally, which is really cool. And then the other thing, you got Arthurian Legends, you've got beta coming up. So you got beta restock coming up. And the last thing is just looking forward to like this dragon mini set. There's been some speculation that set is growing. It's still going to be a small set, but maybe more than 15 cards is the rumor that people are sharing. And I guess now I'm sharing that rumor. But that set might be a little bit bigger than anticipated. Again, I don't think it's going to be a full-fledged release with booster boxes and like a huge set still. But seeing something in that middle ground of the yearly release schedule that could add an avatar, that could add some cards, that could change up the meta a little bit, I think is a really, really big win. I will say I was pretty down on the one set a year thing. That's something that I feel like I tried to defend a little bit. I was pretty down on it. But now being a full year release kind of from beta, I have seen the way that the community can create other environments and ways to play the game that kind of excite playability. From a collecting standpoint, I see a lot of people consistently still collecting and still finishing up their beta set and still finishing up their alpha stuff. And so I think the yearly release, especially with a set that was 403 cards, worked really well for beta and alpha. But what I really love to see is people creating like a 4-player format where there's something in the middle that they have to go get, and they have to hold the middle of the board, and they get points for holding the middle of the board, and seeing the community come up with new and exciting ways to play the game casually and enjoy it is really, really cool. And then on top of that, with the one set a year thing, it gives stores, and I think this is really cool in Sorcery, it gives stores that care about the game the space and time to do things like I'm doing the 1K. Much bigger than that, we've got Sorcery Con happening in Las Vegas. We had the Courtesan Cup. You have these big events that are really, really cool that get the community kind of going. And these are all store-led things. And I think that exists in Sorcery because the stores who care about Sorcery have the space There's not a new set coming out every single whatever. They have the space to think creatively on how can we do something like that. And so that's just really cool. I just think that's an avenue of excitement that you get with that one set a year. So it's interesting. I still think it's a wild experiment, one set a year. I think that there's a lot of fear that comes with that still, and I understand that. But it's really interesting to see how it's playing out. There is some benefits to that one set a year. I know the comment section, people all the time say, I'm excited for one set a year because I don't have to keep up with it constantly. It can be a more casual commitment than something like Magic the Gathering, which is just in your face all the time, new cards all the time. I also understand the back end of that as well. But so those are my thoughts on what's going on in Sorcery. Again, I'm really excited for the 1K. I think we're going to be streaming. I'm working on getting some people in line. I'm always behind the gun on stuff. And I'm always slow on getting stuff figured out. But I think we're going to be streaming. It might not be a perfect stream. We might not have card images up, but we'll reuse that content and we'll throw in some card images for people who need it and want it. But hopefully you can make it to the 1K this weekend. Shout out to Mint Collectibles for sponsoring that, and Kitchen Table TCG myself, and now the Ruby Courier for being on there as well. Really excited. Really exciting to hang out with everybody. Hopefully you have yourself a fantastic day. Let me know what you think about all the Sorcery stuff in the comment section below. We'll see you again next video.